Welcome back, everybody, to Caravan of Garbage, where we are wrapping up this portion of the Fast saga, Mason.
I don't think we'll ever truly finish the entire Fast saga, because it's never going to end, right?
Well, there's that Netflix show that we won't watch, so yeah, you're right. We'll never get to it.
That's wonderful, actually. That's beautiful.
It's just out there.
It's just out there, you know?
It's our white whale. This show that I don't want to watch. Anyways, leave a like because we are looking at Furious 7.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
The titles say Fast and Furious 7, I think.
Yeah, man, who cares?
I care. It's important.
You don't.
Consistency is important.
Listen,
I'm upset.
I'm just going to say something.
Go on.
I don't think you do care.
No, I don't
I
actually
think
care.
you're being upset for comedic relief.
You've called my bluff.
Anyways, Mason, boy, does this movie make Luke Evans' character from the previous movie look like a baby. You know, Jason Statham's like, you fucking idiot. I always had to look after you, and here I am looking after you some more.
You needed an entire crew to pull off a heist. I can just walk into a hospital and kill everyone. And I know what you're going to say. When we see that scene where Deckard Shaw has infiltrated this hospital to talk to his brother, most of the people that are on the ground are like cops or like the SWAT team members or something like that. But then he throws a grenade into like a receptionist's desk.
Yeah, okay, listen.
Yes?
We don't see him kill anybody.
Except for the grenade.
No, because he falls behind the desk.
Oh, yes.
And maybe he rolls behind the chair.
That's true. Or maybe there's one of those traditional hospital trapdoors behind the secretary's desk.
Exactly.
You know? Or when the front of the building collapsed or whatever.
Yeah. Look, I think it's also a really good intro for Jason Statham's character. It doesn't work well for his redemption arc, which he's going to be getting. But I think, like, as a compelling villain, I like it a lot.
Yes.
I like it a lot, Mason. You know what I like also?
What's that?
It's a big return.
Fast cars?
Sure.
Perfect.
You're on the right track.
Oh, yeah.
Race wars are back.
That's right. Finally.
So we know from this that Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez's characters, whatever their names are, they invented...
Vin and Michelle.
Vin and Michelle.
Or Vin and Letty?
Yes.
Vin and Letty.
They invented race wars. Because her memory's still gone, so he's taking...
They invented it.
They invented it, thank you. He's taking her on a literal trip through memory lane. Oh, there's so many car puns in that as well, just then, I just did. But I like all of that, you know? And I wonder, like, what was his specific involvement? Like, is he micromanaging on the day-to-day level? You know how you see, like, at one point there's two girls just rubbing their butts together?
Yeah.
We'll see there just like, more of that, please. He's got a clipboard and just...
Is it like micromanaging on the level of like one of those like roller coaster tycoon games where he's like deciding how much salt is on the popcorn so people eat more popcorn and then they need to go and buy more drinks? And,
clever.
Right, very clever. It's also
Does he have all the permits to do a race war?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yes. Also,
do you have to have a permit for a race war?
It's a really great question.
Yeah.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah, I feel like this is like the corporate version of what he probably started.
Yeah, probably. His was all about the races.
And butts rubbing together.
Butts rubbing and the race war part. And they're probably more about selling like, you know, the foam hats with the...
Yeah, let's say race wars.
But also, kind of bold, like Letty has lost her memory.
Yeah.
And for him to go... Let me drive you out to a little place that I think is pretty special to us. And what if she's like, those women are rubbing their butts together? This is all quite misogynist, quite frankly. Did you require that all their skirts be that short? Come on, Vin Diesel.
Yeah, we did it. We did it together. It was both of our ideas.
Wow.
I swear. Also, Iggy Azalea is in this. Australia's own.
That's who that is. Okay, yeah.
You're welcome, America.
She's from Mullumbimby.
That's right. And of course we see Hector, he's returned as well. And he picks up Letty at one point. Don't do that. Even if she did have her memory, she probably would have still punched you, you know?
That's true.
She wasn't really into that. But of course Letty needs some time. She goes, Dom Toretto, there we go. Dom Toretto, I need more time. I'm going to leave, but I'll be back in 15 minutes.
Also, there's a lot of cast in this movie, and a lot of us are going to leave for 15 minutes and come back a bit later, and you, the audience, will be like, oh yeah, they're in this.
That's right.
Oh, that's right, Jimon Honsu is in this.
That's right.
I forgot.
He's in this.
Doesn't have a lot to do, does he? To the point where, at one point, he's in a helicopter, they're chasing the good guys, and they've got a drone locked on to the heroes of the piece, and they just have to cut back to him going, okay, fire. Great. Probably the boys probably don't need you to do that. They can probably fire on their own.
Yeah, maybe.
But he needed some stuff to do.
Look, it's always good to see him, and he doesn't get paid enough for being incredible in literally everything that he does. So Mason, Brian is struggling in this movie for a couple of reasons.
Go on.
One is that he's 50% a CGI man. We'll get into that and how they replaced Paul Walker for all of this in a moment.
But the other thing is, He's a dad, but he just wants to do murders. You know?
Yeah.
He got a taste for murders.
I feel him. I understand it. I get it. I used to be a teacher. I get it.
Yeah.
We all want to do a murder. I get it, Mason.
Yeah. But instead, he's got to drop the kid off at daycare.
Yep.
And he's just scanning the streets for like, ooh, maybe I can hook something up to my car and drive off with it, bouncing down the street, a swath of destruction in my neighborhood. But there isn't anything, you know?
Yeah.
He's struggling with it.
What's weird about that is as well that clearly the parts that were written before he passed away, the way the narrative is structured, it feels like it was going to be his last movie anyway. Because a lot of the discussions are about like, well, you got to settle into this life and whatever. And I know also, obviously, a lot of that is reshoots and restructuring the story. But like, was the point of the movie initially going to be, well, Brian, you can't be a father and do murders as a super international car racer guy. And then they go, you can actually.
Yeah.
You can have it all. You can be a dad and a murderer.
Oh, well, that's what dads want, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, that we're in an era of dad movies, your Top Gun Mavericks and so forth. This was the vanguard of that, the point of the spear, the first one of
the
just
dad
like,
naissance.
That's exactly right.
I love it. Finally, something for dads and people who want to do murders.
Yeah.
So look, just to get back to Shaw, we get the first showdown between Hobbs and Shaw, soon to team up in their own successful franchise, Mason, which who knows how many of those movies we're going to be getting, Mason.
Oh my God.
They're very even already. In the fight that they have, you probably noticed, they seem to hit each other an equal number of times. They both fall through glass the same amount of times.
Okay, yep.
The fight only ends because Shaw sort of overpowers him, but not really because The Rock saves a woman, and that's the only reason like he loses the fight. I think they even discussed that in a later movie where it's like, well, the only reason you beat me is because I was saving a woman, actually.
Yeah.
And Shaw's like, well, we're the same height.
I was going to say, at least in that opening fight sequence, Statham is visually smaller than The Rock, which I think never happens again, probably. It's all very creative camera angles from this point
Maybe
forward.
he grew in real life. Maybe
he did.
Maybe he had a 50-year-old growth spurt.
He had that leg lengthening surgery that everybody in Hollywood's loving, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Of course, we get Han's death revisited in this, and also the movie Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. We see Bow Wow. We see the fresh out of high school Sean something. He's back.
He's back.
To be like, I wasn't happy when he died in that explosion. I'd tell you that much.
Yeah. I'd rather he didn't. But I'm just a good old boy, you know, and I don't like it when my friends die in car explosions.
He's not fresh out of high school. He'd be still in high school.
That's right.
Because in that movie, he's in high school, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. I'm a big fan of that. But of course, we do go to Han's funeral, and Tyrese, big return, obviously.
Yes.
He gets to do his apparently in-universe famous birthday distraction speech scenario. Because when he goes to do that, when they go to Dubai or whatever, he's like, I'm going to do the birthday thing. And they're like, not the birthday thing again. When have you done this before? Also, you're clearly just improvising it like on set. And you're known for this thing?
He's famous for it.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, Tyrese at the funeral of Han says, I can't do any more funerals. And I wanted to ask you.
Go on.
Is this his first funeral in these movies? For somebody he likes. I mean, he's killed a bunch of people, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you count Han dying in
multiple movies,
in 3, and then revisiting that in 6, the post credits in 6,
and then now
counts as 3.
God damn, that's rough.
Maybe what he was saying was specifically, I'm sick of going to Han's funeral, which I've done 3 times at this point, technically. But no, who else are but I guess we're talking about Letty, I guess, even though she didn't really die.
He wasn't in that movie, but I guess he went to the funeral.
Maybe he's saying, I'm tired of going to these funerals where it turns out that the person who died isn't really dead. I'm tired of it. I'm pretty sure Han's not dead. So I'm sick of it.
We never picked up Gal Gadot's body.
That's right.
Where was the funeral for that one? I'll tell you what though, Mason, there was nearly a bloody funeral when Shaw drove his car into Vin Diesel's car, but he'd actually reinforced his car, which is apparently a coward's move.
That's right. We don't know the ins and outs of the international street racing scene. Maybe it is.
That's normal and okay, actually. You know, if you're going to crash your car head on, I think
you'd have to be like, oh, well played, sir.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just luck, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
and later in the movie, Vin does the funny car where he pops the hood up and the front end and crashes over the top of Shaw's car. Is that cheating? Or is that cool?
I think it's just chess, man. These guys, they're always thinking.
That's right.
Always thinking of new strategies to when they're driving directly into each other.
That's right.
And then Kurt Russell turns up as Mr. Sunglasses, and Jason Statham just scurries away. Vin Diesel's like, "What are you doing here, Mr. Sunglasses?" And he goes, "Well, I can help you get Deckard Shaw."
That's right.
He just left.
Yeah. I have that note here as well.
He's probably
you just lost him, you idiot.
He's probably 200 meters away, hiding in a storm drain.
Kurt Russell, what a strange character to introduce into the series at this point. Just a big government guy, and he's weird and cheery, and he's got night vision sunglasses.
Yeah, he does.
And some sort of bulletproof mermaid scale vest under his suit. He's just loving life and drinking Belgian beers.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
but he's also got he's got some Heineken on ice.
That's
ready
true.
To go.
Some Coronas.
Some
please.
Coronas.
Wow.
I apologize. But he's probably also got Heinekens.
Probably got Heinekens.
Yeah.
But that's the thrust of this, because I'd forgotten that.
Yeah.
The plot of this is that Mr. Sunglasses wants international arms dealer, I think, Jimon Honsu.
Sure.
And the family, they want Deckard Shaw.
Yeah.
So what Mr. Sunglasses wants them to do is to get Ramsey, who's the hacker, from Jimon Honsu, and then get the chip that she's invented to hack into the world and the whatever, and the hack. It's the thing in this movie that can hack into anything and do anything. It's that thing.
God's Eye.
And then he'll help them get Deckard Shaw.
Yes.
Right?
Using God's Eye.
Yeah.
I feel like Deckard Shaw already has God's Eye, because he's just wherever he needs to be.
And I feel like once you've gotten Ramsey, you don't really need to get the God's Eye, because she can just build you another one, right?
Yeah, well, that's probably true.
When she's not too busy being sexy. Awooga!
Oh my God!
All the boys have got their eyes are jumping out of their heads. They're doing the thing where their jaw falls on the floor, and then the tongue rolls out, and it goes blah, 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 you know? Settle down, you two idiots.
They really took like a full minute and a half to go like, wow, this is sexy, and she's really sexy. That's what we think. They really leaned into that, Mason. How do you feel about flying cars in this?
Love them.
Yeah?
Why, what are you talking about?
I mean, they drop them out of a plane.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
There's a lot happens in this movie.
It's a big movie.
It's a big movie.
Yeah.
A bit of fun. They look pretty good, I think.
I'd forgotten that they hand wave away how they land on the road. They're like, they got a GPS in them, whatever.
Parachute's got a GPS.
Yeah. And they're like, we have to hit them on this road because they won't be expecting it.
How specifically does that work? Well, it's got a GPS.
Yeah, what are you, deaf? It's got a GPS.
It's got a GPS. How like hot air balloons have a GPS? They don't. Hot air balloons just land wherever. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did know that. Yeah. That's
amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty good. That's fine.
It also feels like if you want to mount like an attack on this inaccessible road, you maybe drive there an hour before and maybe just set up a little barricade, maybe.
Yeah.
Just something like that, maybe.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah,
maybe a sexy distraction.
Sexy distraction, that's perfect.
Maybe a race
like
war.
an ice cream truck.
Yeah, that's right.
And Jimon Honsu and Deckard Shaw will stop for an ice cream, perhaps.
Yeah.
You know? Who can resist?
Who can? I also love how it ends, where Vin Diesel is cornered on the edge of a cliff. And I'm like, oh my God, how's he going to get out of this one? I'd forgotten. Does he have a secret parachute?
Does he have the backup parachute?
There's that wheel on the top of his car. Does that do something?
Right.
Does that shoot a grappling hook and he'll fly off or whatever?
No, it's just fling them. It's just fling himself and Ramsey off the side of the cliff in the car and hope that their main character syndrome allows them to survive.
Which it did.
It does.
It didn't look like he'd reinforce that vehicle, because that would of course be cheating.
That'd be cheating.
Yeah.
Except when he goes, hey Ted, you got to make this car bulletproof.
Oh yeah.
Cheating.
Forgotten about that.
Yeah.
I'd also forgotten that Ronda Rousey was in this movie. Big year for Ronda Rousey, 2015.
Go on.
Between this and the Entourage movie.
Oh my God.
Where she falls in love with Turtle.
That's right.
I mean, of all the Entourage gang, I guess it'd be the main guy.
Are you going to rank these guys in terms of worst to worst?
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of who I think Ronda Rousey or like a normal person would date, it would be Vinny Chase because he's the movie star.
Yeah.
It would be E. It would be Turtle, and then of course it would be Johnny Drama.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Fucking terrible movie. Let's talk about how they handled Paul Walker's death in this, because he died at the end of 2013, which was halfway through filming this in a car accident. You can tell now, especially considering how far like face replacement and deep fakes have come since 2015. It's quite noticeable, but in terms of like papering over somebody who's 50% not in this movie, I think it does a fairly good job I think
so.
considering, yeah.
And I think it's also a case of they knew it was going to be important, so they took the time. You know what I mean?
They pushed this movie a whole year.
Yeah, like face replacement in this era, if they dashed it out at this kind of the level that Marvel movies do, it would have looked horrendous.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think they knew it was important. They're like, let's put some... And look, honestly, if I didn't know that he died during filming, I may not have picked up on it. I think it's pretty...
I think I would have picked up at the end where they all look at him and go, damn, I can't believe Brian's going off to be a dad. And then he flies off into the sky.
Sure.
I think at that point...
He's in the grease car.
Yeah, exactly.
Bye, Brian.
Yeah, so how they did it was they used some dialogue and footage from previous movies. They even took a whole deleted scene, the garage conversation that he has with Mia. That's from Fast 5, a scene that they deleted. There's a moment where he has a conversation with Vin Diesel on a plane. That's also from a previous movie. So a lot of time you'll notice some of the footage is like, you can match it up with previous movies. They also use body doubles, including his brothers Caleb and Cody. She apparently didn't work with Paul Walker at all.
Oh, wow.
So that was like stand-ins and CGI, which was apparently for her like incredibly difficult, obviously. Yeah, all in all, I think they handled it as well as you possibly could in this scenario.
Agreed.
So in the finale, they decide to go, listen, if we're going to face Deckard Shaw, let's take him back to our home and ruin everything there.
That's right.
Let's take him to
the
our
place where we have
streets.
the most friends and relatives.
Yeah.
And just let him wreck up the place we love, you know? All our favourite sandwich shops and pizza joints. Let him put a wrecking ball or a drone missile through him. You know, whatever. You know how every time we fight one of these guys, they bring in some like weird city-destroying stuff? Let's bring it on our city. Why not?
Let's take him on our home turf. Why? What about this city did you need to battle this guy? You could have done it literally anywhere.
No.
Take it to Europe. Who cares?
They need that one bridge that The Rock can drive an ambulance off and crash it into that Predator drone.
That's a really great point. I forgot about that.
Can't do that anywhere else, can you?
Oh, man.
Can't do that in any of those walkable European cities, can you, James?
They're too narrow, all the streets.
That's right.
Speaking of The Rock, he's not in it much, is he?
The Rock.
Yeah. He's at the start, he's at the end.
That's true.
And of course, he turns up just in time to say, he flexes himself out of that cast.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, give me that minigun.
Yeah, that's right.
Which, of course, signifies the return of Maso's minigun minute.
Oh, that's right.
This is where you rank miniguns, Mason.
Of course.
Now, is this a legit minigun sequence to you?
Well, this is certainly a legit minigun. Often I'm critical of miniguns because they've made it in the special effects shop and it's just a multi-barrel gun of some sort.
You've criticised like the Dread minigun minute, for example. For that very reason. Yeah. I love that sequence. You're the only one in the world who doesn't like it. But
that's exactly right. But this is the classic, the authentic minigun, 6 barrels. Massive rate of fire. It's come off a vehicle. Obviously, it can do massive destruction. We see it, run through that helicopter.
Sure.
Very impressive. He doesn't run it through any human men, which is a little bit disappointing. Obviously, They rarely do. But it's getting a good spread and it's leveling the playing field. But obviously, it's come off a Predator drone.
Yeah.
So like, how's he firing it? Where's the trigger mechanism? 0 out of 10.
Oh wow.
Yeah, sorry.
That's
everyone.
how it goes.
Yeah.
Also, he did wander around that city quite a bit. Just dragging that minigun.
I did appreciate that, actually, yeah.
This really also solidifies how incredible and invincible Dom Toretto is. There's a moment during this where just before they do the sequence where they jump the cars from the buildings or whatever, where he lifts the car.
Oh, I have a note here, just on that. Because he lifts the car and he holds it up for like 3 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe it's made of titanium or something. But I looked it up. The Lycan Hypersport has a curb weight of 1,380 kilograms or 3,042 pounds.
Now, bearing in mind...
What are you doing?
He doesn't lift the whole thing. He doesn't lift the whole thing off the ground.
He lifts half of it off the ground.
It's got some purchase still on the...
It does not. There's no way.
Well, he did it, didn't he?
I guess he did it. But what I love about that sequence is that Brian at no point is like, Jesus Christ. It's just taken as a given.
Do you want to put something under that to prop it up?
There's a tire jack over there. But it's just taken as a given that the Dom can just lift half a car.
Yeah, man.
Incredible.
So yeah, he lifts the car. He flips his car at one point to place a bomb onto a helicopter. How does he do it? He knocks down a car park with the stomp of his foot.
That's right.
After saying the thing about a street fight is the street always wins. It doesn't make any sense.
No, usually Ryu wins. Or Blanca.
Yeah, often Blanca will win.
Blanca will win.
He also dies. But it turns out that after they stopped doing CPR on him, he didn't really die.
It's true. Is this the movie where they get the amulet that makes them immune to all harm? I think it might be.
It must have been, yeah.
That would explain him being able to lift the car as well.
Yeah. There must have been a scene just before he lifted the car where we went, oh, what's this?
It'd be in that Sultan's house or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
You know? My amulet! He would have said. That's why that guy went, my amulet!
Oh, yeah. And anyway, then Wiz Khalifa sings, I'll See You Again. And that song has nearly 6 billion views or whatever it does on
that's a classic.
YouTube.
It's better than the current one they're advertising fastx with, which is just that song that goes, let's ride, 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 do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
That sounds great.
It is great, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like the fact in this movie, just some miscellaneous stuff here. I love that Brian's arch nemesis in this movie was just that guy on the bus that happens to not die the first time he encounters him.
Is that Tony Jaa?
Maybe.
I think it is.
Huh.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is cool.
Kills him, though. He
kills him at the end. But I mean, obviously, if you're a car guy, your nemesis would be a bus guy.
Oh, absolutely. It is weird that it's like a Greyhound bus as well that they've kitted out with all that stuff.
Anyway, he could be back. I mean, I know he fell down that.
Oh, yeah.
He got dragged down an elevator shaft or whatever, and you heard him splat. But
yeah, Ronda Rousey could be back as well.
Ronda Rousey could be back.
Shimon Honsu could be back.
That's true. I respect how you killed me in that helicopter crash. I'm on the team.
Anyways, Mason, it's time for Green Trivia.
Green Trivia.
I didn't think of another name this week, but I'll tell you what, Mason, I did remember to shout out the guy who's Rodney.
Here he is.
He's shouting Rodney.
Rodney! 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 Rodney!
A little cameo from Lou Ferrigno as the Incredible Hulk on the television in the TV series The Incredible
that's fun,
Hulk.
isn't it?
And then bloody Hobbs is like, oh, look at this garbage TV series. Shut up, The Rock.
Yeah.
Lou Ferrigno walked so you could run.
Yeah, that's true.
Big freaks on the screen. Come on.
In an interview with Vin Diesel, he stated that Furious 7 2015 was for Paul, and that's true. But the Fate of the Furious 2017 is from Paul.
Doesn't make any sense.
It's from Paul.
Oh, very nice.
That's right. Jason Statham has a total of 17 lines in this entire film.
Huh.
Doesn't say much.
No.
But he's always there. Elevator
Absolutely.
dings, he walks out.
Yeah, that's right.
He's always there. If you leave your office and come back to your office, he's going to be there.
On set, he was like, maybe I should say the ding. when the lift opens, I should say ding. No, you don't have to. It's okay.
We'll put that in post.
I'll give you a clean one for the edit.
Dong. Jason, no. A number of trees were apparently accidentally knocked over in the sequence where several cars flew down from the sky. The US National Park Service had Universal pay for the costly regrowth, and the crop of new trees harvested along with the sequence involving the flying cars led to the working title of this film being Flu Harvest. Did you know that?
That's great. You've done really good work there. It's terrific stuff.
Thank you. Normally I say Blue Harvest.
Oh!
But I used a different word. Kurt Russell,
yes.
Mr. Nobody, there you go, that's his name, practically borrowed the Pat Riley look and hairstyle that he used in To Kill a Sunrise from 1998. Now, it's rumored that Mr. Nobody may be Russell's character, Nick Fresia, from To Kill a Sunrise, who probably went from being a Los Angeles County Sheriff to a shady government agent.
Yeah, that would happen. That's a career path I can believe in.
Completely. Box office for this, though, this was the first Fast and Furious film from the Fast saga to crack $1 billion.
Yes.
And on a budget of $250 million because, of course, reshoots, marketing, face replacement, all of that. But yeah, it got to $1.5 billion. I mean, so much more than the previous one. Like, this was already on the up, but this literally flew, Mason.
Oh my
This
God.
went quite high into the sky. I think, though, all in all, this is a good one.
I think
do
so
like
too.
this one, especially considering, the behind the scenes of it all. And I think James Wan, who directed this movie,
What does that mean?
I mean, a lot of people, I think, don't know that, but James Wan,
okay.
like, he'd done mostly horror films to this point and then just did this enormously budgeted, car-focused action movie where the lead actor died in the middle of filming.
Yeah.
And to pull this off, pretty incredible, I think.
This is his, like, Favreau moment, like jumping from a Zathura to an Iron Man.
Exactly. And do you know what, Mason?
What?
Our Favreau moment is going to be next week's episode.
Why?
Wow, because here's a hint towards it.
And how's that our Favreau moment?
It'll be our best video.
Oh,
Yeah.
We're really ramping up the production
If
budget.
you thought this video was okay, the next one will be even better.
Okay, all right.
And you can actually see it early. You can prove to yourself that we were right.
Okay.
If you head over to bigsandwich.co, it's like our private Patreon. There's early videos, there's bonus content, including podcasts, exclusive, movie commentaries, exclusive, Let's Plays, exclusive. I'm going to get to Fast and Furious Crossroads, Mason. I've been working my way through it.
The video game.
Yeah, chipping away.
Okay.
Dreadful game.
You hate it. I've come over here and you've been playing it and you're like, I hate this. You're spitting chips. You beat red playing this game that you hate, but you're doing it for this audience.
That's right.
Who don't respect you.
They don't. Tell me that's not a 2009 face.
No, that's not a great face. She looks different. That's
look who's here. He's so
hello.
big.
Damn,
He's
dude.
so big, Mason.
Damn.
Look how big he is.
They've actually just taken the Donkey Kong character model and they've pasted Vin Diesel from Donkey Kong Country and they've pasted Vin Diesel's head over the top of it.
And if you want to also hear our thoughts on the latest Fast and Furious movie, or whatever the movie happens to be, the big movie, you can check out The Weekly Planet, which is our podcast, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows every Monday. It's got its own YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple, blah, 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 blah.
It's got its own Apple?
It's got its own Apple.
We take a bite of it every week.
That's right.
It's not looking good.
I don't like doing that. It's better than playing Fast and Furious Crossroads, though, Mason. I'll tell you that much. I do like how enormous they make Vin Diesel in that game, though. He's so big.
It's an all-star cast, that game.
It's some of the stars.
Some
and
of the
they
stars.
mention some of the other stars. Anyways, thank you to Ben and Lawrence for the edit.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll see you guys next time.
See you again.
See you again.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. That's right.